Moving to this now. The Amalgamated Lawyers Association is taking President Cyril Ramaphosa as well as the Judicial Service Commission to court. The association wants to compel the president to remove Judge George Phatudi as the Judge President of the Limpopo High Court. The ALA claims that Judge Phatudi is embroiled in corruption allegations and is also not suitable to hold such a prestigious office. Mbekezeli Benjamin is from the organization Judges Matter and joins me now to unpack this. Mbekezeli, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Could you firstly provide an overview, if you will, of the core issues at the heart of this association's legal challenge, especially against President Ramaphosa and the Judicial Service Commission?
Good afternoon, Mr. Swim, and good afternoon to the viewers. Well, this current application by the Amalgamated Lawyers Association is, I think, the latest episode in a long-running saga between the organization and the Judge President of the Limpopo High Court. In fact, the current Judge President is a successor to the previous Judge President, whom they also litigated against. But at the core of the litigation is that ALA wants to challenge the appointment of Judge President Phatudi as Judge President of the Limpopo High Court. They want the decision to be reversed, and they want him out of the position. In October of 2021, the JSC made a recommendation to the president for the president to appoint Judge Phatudi as Judge President of Limpopo. And immediately after that recommendation, ALA went to court to challenge that decision. And so while it was winding its way through the court process, President Ramaphosa didn't confirm that appointment. So he waited until that litigation was wrapped up. And that litigation was wrapped up in August last year. And then the president then implemented the JSC's recommendation in December, and that's when Judge Phatudi was officially confirmed as Judge President. So the reason why ALA is suing both the President and the JSC is because they are the main actors in getting Judge Phatudi appointed.
But what are the main allegations against Judge George Phatudi that even prompted the association to seek his removal from the position of Judge President of the Limpopo High Court?
Well, it's difficult to actually pinpoint one because it's been a wave of allegations at different stages. Currently, from what the city press is reporting, is that they allege that he is involved in corruption. And of course, I'm not sure to what extent they put evidence forward for that allegation. But previously, they had accused him of sexism against the Deputy Judge President of the province. They alleged that he had made some sexist remarks prior to the Deputy Judge President's interview in 2021. So it's been a long-running saga, and really it is troubling because it harms the reputation of the judiciary in Limpopo. But more troubling is that the Limpopo High Court division, both in Polokwane and Thohoyandou, is facing some serious challenges, and one would have expected that the focus will really be on those challenges that are facing the courts there. But it does seem to be a battle of personalities.
But Mbekezeli, from what we've gathered so far, how does the association argue that the President Ramaphosa's failure to really act on their petition specifically, how does it constitute a violation of the Constitution or even the rule of law here?
Yeah, that's where I'm also troubled because, for example, they demand that President Ramaphosa remove Judge Phatudi as Judge President. But there's only one process to remove a judge, and that is in terms of Section 177 of the Constitution. And that requires a complaint to be filed, a tribunal to investigate, the JSC to make a recommendation for the judge to be impeached and removed, and Parliament to vote, and ultimately for the President to implement that. So it's a long, multi-stage process. So I'm not quite sure how they get to the point where they say that the President has violated the Constitution by not removing the judge, even though they haven't followed the process. But secondly, the Constitution, Section 174, says that the President appoints judges on the advice of the JSC. So once the JSC has given advice that a particular judge should be appointed to a particular position, the president really has no say. The president cannot second guess the JSC. He certainly cannot disregard the JSC's recommendation to appoint a particular judge, especially when it comes to judges below the Constitutional Court. So again, I don't quite understand how they get to saying that the president violated the Constitution by implementing a recommendation of the JSC.
Mbekezeli, in more broader terms, can you explain the implications of this court case for the judicial appointment process in South Africa? Are there any implications here?
To be quite honest with you, I don't think there are any implications. Like I said, this is the latest in a series of cases. The one that was filed previously, again, was dismissed by the High Court for not having merit. So this time around, even though it is couched in very strong language, I don't think that they get off the starting blocks, because like I was explaining, the process of removal of a judge, the process of appointment of a judge is a complex process, and you can't just simply focus on one role player and say that they should assume all powers and overrule all other role players. So on that basis, I don't think that it will get anywhere. But what I do think that it does shine a spotlight on is, again, the Limpopo High Court. The JSC, in fact, at its meeting last year, it did speak about the Limpopo High Court and how they should deal with the challenges there. I don't think the JSC has stepped forward to implement practical plans on how they will deal with challenges in Limpopo. And so that's why I feel this court case is more of a distraction than anything else.
But in more broader terms, Mbekezeli, what is the significance of the ALA's claim that, for instance, Judge Phatudi attempted to influence the appointment of Judge Violet Semenya? And how does this even relate to the current legal challenge?
Well, that part where they claim that Judge Phatudi wanted to influence the appointment of Deputy Judge President Semenya, that related to a complaint that ALA has filed at the JSC. They allege that Judge Phatudi made sexist remarks towards Judge Semenya, and through those remarks, he was trying to influence her non-appointment. So they say that Judge Phatudi was not in support of her appointment, and so he made certain sexist comments that would have sort of scuppered her chances for appointment. And so they raised these things for the first time in an affidavit to the JSC last year. But these happened in 2021. So the question is, what happened between the 3 years when these allegations apparently happened and when they filed a complaint? So again, it is. I think they are really motivated to protect the judiciary in Limpopo, but I think the way that they are going about it is not, I think, the most advisable way or the most legally sound way.
Mbekezeli, while I am cognizant that you don't speak for the association, but how has the ALA's previous involvement, especially in judicial matters such as the suspension of Judge Chifuya Maumela, how has this shaped their approach to the current case from what you've picked up?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're quite right. I'm not their spokesperson, and I think they would be better placed to explain their approach. But generally, I think some of the issues that they raise are really important and should be debated. But certainly, the vast majority of the legal cases that I've seen have not necessarily helped the judiciary or helped the accountability of the judiciary. Because like this case, again, it was the issues that they raise now have previously been dealt with before, but also in the manner in which they raise them, it doesn't seem that it really is a thoughtful process that seeks to improve accountability. So I'm not quite sure where this current litigation is intended, but it certainly it doesn't look like it has very good prospects.
Mbekezeli Benjamin, thank you so much for providing a detailed overview of the Amalgamated Lawyers Association's significant legal challenge, which involves President Cyril Ramaphosa as well as the Judicial Service Commission. He's been giving us his insight from what he's gathered from this.